Dungeons and Dragons, a game of fantasy adventure set in fantastical worlds, stories of intrigue, deep dungeons, death, victory, a lot of loot. All of that is created by you, the Dungeon Master. What's up, everyone? It's Talon, and in today's episode of DMing 101, I'm going to be covering the basics of basics, the laying the groundwork for being a Dungeon Master. And just a reminder, I stream every Thursday through Sunday over on Twitch, so be sure to stop by if you have any questions. I'll be ready and willing to answer them, and I may even make a video or two out of them later. Who knows? Link to all of that stuff is down in the description box below the video. Now, why you're here. The most common thing I hear, being an experienced DM who has done this for 8 to 10 years, is a simple question of how hard is it? One thing I found is that there is an implied workload, and people saying that being a dungeon master is the hardest thing that you'll do when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. Doesn't seem right, first of all, because Dungeons and Dragons shouldn't be hard. Unless the DMing. Anyways, it shouldn't be hard to do. It's all about fun. What they're doing is overblowing everything. They're putting their bad experiences forward to you. I will be the first person to admit, though, that being a dungeon master does take up a hell of a lot of time. It takes up a lot of my free time, prepping and creating and doing all that stuff. But I still find it a rewarding experience, and I have a hell of a lot more fun doing it than I do just being an ordinary player. With that said, however, is that being a dungeon master, you are just as much of a player as everyone else around that table. You're there to have fun, firstly, but also you're going to be experiencing the story just like they are. You may know what's going on and why, but the direction the story takes is going to be unknown to you from the beginning, because everything you plan, prepare, etc. is not going to happen how you planned it or how you thought of it. English is hard, friends. Be sure to always keep that in mind, that being a dungeon master has a lot of variables going into it. Nothing you plan is going to happen how you planned it. And with that said, you have to be comfortable with yourself to change the things that you have planned when you need to, so you can react to what your players are doing or will do accordingly, and to make sure the game is still enjoyable for everyone at the table, including yourself. Changes could be anything as drastic as scrapping the entire plot line you have created and putting in a different one, and I've done that quite a few times, and let me tell you, it's actually worked out for the better, believe it or not. It could be that from there to literally just changing the name of an NPC, or where they're found, or a dungeon location for a different one, or the loot items in them. You can change anything, because none of it's set in stone. None of it is set in stone. Even if your players have already experienced it, have already run through that dungeon, gotten the loot, killed the big bad, you can always go back and change it. You just need to be open and honest with them. And when I say that, I mean literally sit down with them, whether over text, call, or in person. Sit down with them and talk to them about it, saying, hey guys, I don't know how I was feeling about that. I don't really like how this is turning out. I want to do something. The choices are limitless. They can give you feedback that maybe they enjoy it more, and that pushes you to keep doing that, follow that path, make it better. Or you can figure out a way in game, in character, to fix it. Or you can literally just retcon. Who knows? I certainly don't. The key point of everything I just said is to not stress yourself out. There is a workload, an implied workload of being a dungeon master. The thing is you can make that workload as heavy or as light as you want, with how much time you put into it, with what you create and how much you create. You can create entire worlds like I do, and entire adventures like I do. Or you don't need to create jack diddly squat. You can just run published adventures and campaigns and settings. You can rip those from the books if you want. In fact, actually, I regularly rip items, NPCs, settings, and dungeons, all that stuff from published adventures, both old and new. Because, I mean, sometimes I just don't have time. Now, up here, I'm going to be putting a list of tools that I use regularly that can help you out, whether by reducing your stress, also helping with the anxiety of being a DM. Right here above my finger is Google Drive. As simple as it sounds, it is an awesome tool that condenses everything into one single spot that you can access anywhere as you need it. I'm assuming you guys know that. Come on, you're smart. I use it to store all my information about worlds and campaigns and adventures and neat things I may think of, whether I'm at work or I'm here at home, that I want to add to the game, to the world, or if I want to share specific information with the players when we're not at the table. Another one is pre-published adventures. As I said before, they're awesome. I don't really need to repeat myself. And finally, the third one, my personal favorite, other dungeon masters. I am only one tadpole in the pond, filled with giant catfish. Why catfish are in a pond? Don't ask me, but they are, okay? Catfish are in this pond. A few that come to mind whenever I think about the big catfish in this pond are Matt Colville, Geek and Sundry GM Tips with Matt Mercer, and someone Phoenix. I don't know, I can't remember her name. There are also subreddits, r/DM Academy and r/D&D Behind the Screen. I frequent those pretty often. I ask questions, I answer questions, and also just yoink stuff from them because they're really cool. That's it for this episode. I know this episode was really broad and it covered literally nothing specifically except for tools. And even then, it wasn't really specific tools. It was like 3 of them, 2 of them maybe that were kind of, well, yeah, 2 that were really specific. But we'll get there in time. We'll get to the specifics in time, I swear. Next episode going to be about this absolutely gorgeous and really awesome book, and how you can use it to your advantage, but also how you're not bound by the rules of the game. I'll see you next time, Dungeon Masters.